Hello, amazing ladies in business. Welcome to the Her Story podcast. I am your host, Kylie King, and I'm the founder of Australian Ladies in Business Initiative. And today I'm so excited to be joined by the incredible Shelley Cootes, who runs and owns the Narrow Escape Rooms in Penrith. And she's also the Alibi Award winner for 2024 for Brick and Mortar Business of the Year. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Kylie. I got my award right here. Look.
Oh, beautiful. It looks really good.
Yeah, beautiful.
So let's get started with the listeners. So tell us a bit about yourself. Like, who are you and what's your business about?
Yeah, so I'm Shelley Cootes, owner and a co-owner of Narrow Escape Rooms. I own Narrow Escape Rooms with my brother and sister-in-law, so we're a family-owned business. I'm also a mum. I've got two teenagers, a wife, and a fur baby. I volunteer regularly. I'm the event director of Penrith Lakes parkrun, which has been running for 10 years, almost it'll be 11 next May. So I've been doing that for a long time as well. I
Beautiful.
guess that's a brief snapshot of who I am.
No, that's cool. So for anyone that hasn't experienced an escape room, how would you like describe what you do or what an escape room is?
Well, first of all, it's much more fun than what it sounds like when I explain it. It's quite hard to it's a bit hard to explain without giving away too much information, I guess. But I'm in our escape room now. This is our inheritance room, and you can see this beautiful cabinet here behind me. So what an escape room is when you come to us. So as you mentioned, we're located in Penrith, and it's a themed room. So this room is themed like somebody's house, I guess. It's supposed to be a rich lady's house, so we've got things that we thought might look a little bit more make her look rich, but on our budget.
Yeah.
And we've got other rooms as well. So basically, you come to a themed room, and there's some puzzles in the room. So you need to have a look around the room, find those puzzles, and then solve them. So, and then once you solve it, you might get another piece of information, and then you need to solve that next puzzle in order to move and progress through the room until you get to the end. So, in this room that I'm in, and the end, you're going to find the will of your Aunt May, and that would be the end of the game. In launch, your mission is to launch the missiles. So then that's what you've got to do at the end of the game. You get to launch the missiles and blow up some aliens.
Nice. So it's like a story-based, I guess, puzzle, but you're in it and you can do what you need to do in it to get
It's
to the end.
like being in your own movie, I guess. Like you get to be the person who makes the decisions, and it's also about teamwork and communication as well. So, you want to pick the right team that you can work together with. So yeah, you need to sort of throw some ideas out there, like what if we try this, or what if we try that kind of thing, like a bit of a brainstorming session. People say think outside the box, but I don't think that's really what you do. I think it's more logic.
Mm-hmm.
So, which to me is in the box, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it's more logic. So if I see something over here and it matches something over there, well, then maybe that I've got to do something goes together between these two things. And what is that? So it's more, yeah, to me, it's more logic. You don't actually have to be smart. You just got to be logical, which is why I love it. And they're so addictive. Like we have people that come and play and they're like, oh my God, that was so good. I didn't, they don't expect it to be as fun as what they was, or they've been dragged along because, somebody else has brought them along or whatever. And they're like, they loved it. So like last week we had a group of four, there must have been about 18, 19-year-olds, like young adults. And they came and played and they like immediately wanted to pay another room, which I did. And then they immediately wanted to play the third room, but I'm like, it's too late at night for that one. I have to come back another day. So, and that was their first escape room and they just didn't realize how much fun it was. But obviously I do, like, started playing escape rooms some time ago, and then we just wanted to go to the next one. When can we go to the next one? Go to the next one. So yeah, absolutely love it.
So how many can you fit into your room? You mentioned you had four. Is that the maximum that would be in a team for the escape room or?
2 to 6 in each room. So we do have a maximum of 6. We will go to 7 if you really want to have a seventh person, but we sort of recommend 6. But happy to take your money if you want the extra person. I like 4 as a group, so I like to go with 4. 2 I feel is too small in that if you can't figure it out, then the other person has to figure it out. Like I feel for me, it feels like a bit of more pressure there. Whereas when there's 4 of you, like you only got a quarter of that responsibility, I guess. But that's my preference. Other people like to have all of their friends come, and other people just like to have their partner come as well. So just it's personal preference, but it is a group situation. So 2 to 6.
And is it time limited? Or do you just make them stay in the room until they
Yeah, forever until they die. And so an hour is on the clock for the game.
Mhm.
So, and the time pressure does get to you, especially for some people if you keep, because there's a clock in the room, so you know how much time that you have left.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that adds a little urgency to uh, doing the escape room. And yes, it's an hour, but we do allow 10 minutes overtime. So if a team, assuming they arrived on time, of course, then you get your hour. And then if you don't quite get it in the hour, we can give you up to 10 minutes overtime to finish it off. So most teams will get through the game in that an hour and 10 minutes. If not, most of them will get through the hour, and then almost all will get through an hour and 10 minutes.
Beautiful. That's awesome. So I can see how it would be a really good team building experience. I've done your escape rooms. I think I've done all of them. And I think the one you're in, I've done twice with some ladies in business during like a group networking thing. So, and I didn't know what to expect when I first went in there. And then I was like, wow, this is really cool. Because it made you think inside and I guess outside the box because of more of what could be hidden. Because when you first start, not to blow spoilers, but when you first start, you got to look at everything in the room.
Yeah.
So, and then you've got, the people that crawl under and try and like take bits of the wall off or take bits of the floor off. And you're like, I don't think it's that.
Don't need to be that thorough. No.
Exactly. Maybe that's where that outside of the box thinking comes from. They're
Yeah.
like, just start taking pieces of the box. Maybe that will help.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned,
Well, I think
yeah, you go.
for team building wise, there's a lot of activities out there that are competitive team building. So if you want to go bowling, you want to go axe throwing, you want to go, those kind of things are all competitive, which obviously are fun. Not taking away from that, but I guess our point of difference is it's your team is working together to solve the puzzles. And yeah, that's where we have a little bit of a difference to those other teams of the bonding experiences.
Yeah, because you get to then see as well how the team works towards a common goal. And I can see as like if you were a manager or any of that sort of stuff, you can then see which team members take on what role in that and how they get
Yes.
to the end.
Yeah. So sometimes we have really bad teams, as in, like, I'm not saying that they perform badly. I'm just saying that, like, they might have a leader who won't let anybody do anything that they don't say.
Mhm.
So then they just follow the leader, and you can see that in the game sometimes. Like, no, that's not it. No, no, and it like the person who's suggesting it is on the right track, but the person who's the leader doesn't think that that is right. So, and then they stop suggesting things because the leader says, no, that's not it. And then it doesn't make sense for everybody. And then sometimes you've got the teams that just follow the leader, like, because, that's the boss and, the boss knows everything. But then other times you can see, yeah, different people. So you might have that one person who doesn't say much, but they notice everything. So they're walking around the room and they're like going, oh, look at this, oh, look at that. And someone will go, oh, I found this, and they go, oh, I know what to do with it. Like, or they'll go around and solve things like a ninja without telling anybody what they've done. And then other times, yeah, you get people that are really working together that are like just bouncing ideas off each other as well. So that's the teams that we like to have, is when people are working together to solve the puzzles. Yeah.
There you go. And you've just proved it's always the quiet ones. It's the quiet ones that are just observing that are going to have what you
Sometimes,
need.
yes. Yeah. Well, it helps to have a variety of people in the room different people have different experiences and see things differently. So that does help. I guess like working in a team in a workplace, like it's good that everybody has different skills. Well, it's the same in an escape room, complementary skills.
Beautiful. So you mentioned before that you used to play a lot of escape rooms yourself. Is that what you got? Is that what got you started in going, hey, let's just run our own?
Actually, I think we played one escape room before we decided that we loved it. No, maybe two. So the first escape room we played was in Penrith. So my sister-in-law played an escape room in Penrith,
Mhm.
and then she went and played with her family. So I didn't go to that. And then she's like, we need to go. So by we, she means my brother, my sister-in-law, my husband, and myself. So two couples. So then we went to this one in Parramatta, and we sat for hours sitting around talking about this game and how much fun that we had had, even though we didn't get out in time. And then she goes, I want you to go back to the first escape room so then I can talk to you about it. Because you kind of don't want to give away spoilers when you go to an escape room. You don't want to, so she didn't want to give away the spoilers, but she wanted to talk about that room. So she sent us back to the room that she had played, and we beat her time. So we were pretty pleased about that. But then, so our kids are little at the time. So she looked after the kids. So I had two and she had one. So she looked after the three kids while we went and played this escape room. And then we went back to her house and took the kids to the park so they could play. And then again, we were talking about hours, like what we liked about the escape room, what we thought we could do better, because of course sometimes you go to places and you think you can do things better. Yeah. And what would we do if we had an escape room? So we were just sort of throwing things down. And I thought it was just a bit of fun, like, this kind of, thing that, and not a lot of things got us chatting this much about something. So, it was good. And then about a week later, my brother rings me up and he goes, can I come up? Can we come over? And I was like, okay. And like, we're very close now. Like, we've always been close, but we used to see each other once a week because my mum has baked dinner night and we all go there for baked dinner night. But we didn't normally see each other too often out of the baked dinner. Once a week's enough to see your brother, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's to come over, and I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So he comes over, and then he goes, I've got this idea for an escape room, and he just pulls out his phone and goes blah 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 blah, and gave a whole storyline of an escape room, which ended up being our launch room, and we were like, wow. And so this had kept him up at night. And to me, to type something out on your phone, like that's so much quicker to type on my computer. I don't know about him, but yeah, to type it all up on your phone, I was thinking, oh, okay. And then we went and played. So that was after two escape rooms when we sort of started throwing it around. And then he explained, like, who my brother's in IT, like, that's all I really knew about what he did for a job. But he did a lot of automation of things in his IT job. And my sister-in-law works in electronics. So, and they had all these creative ideas on an escape room, on how to make an escape room. And some of the magic of an escape room is I put three things in the right holes, for example, and then something will pop open next to it. So to me, that's magic.
Yeah.
But to them, they're like, oh no, I know how to do that. That's not that difficult. And then I'm like, oh, okay. So we went and played some more escape rooms, including for my 40th birthday. We took a weekend trip to Melbourne. I don't know, we played about 8 escape rooms over the 3 days or something. And again, the four of us spending the whole time throwing ideas around, and then, yeah, anyway, we decided that we were going to do it. We decided that one couple couldn't do it without the other. Because I'm like, well, what do you need me for? Like, you're the ones that can build and design the escape room. But then they're like, well, we don't want to be the face of the business. We don't, I know, like, my background is in HR and admin. So I knew the HR side. I know the finance side. I've done payroll before. So they didn't know the business side of things. So then it was just, and my husband's a business person as well, but none of us have never run our own business before. So we decided that one couple couldn't do it without the other. My husband is still involved in the business, but he has his own full-time job. So he just, I guess, gives his input into things that he knows, but he's not in the business day to day. He was originally, he was running escape rooms for us, Like we were all running escape rooms. But now that we've got staff, we don't. He doesn't enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
No, no, he's just one of the worst employees I've ever had because he doesn't listen to me when I tell him to do things. He just wants to do it his own way.
Well, that's fine.
um,
He can go back and do something else that he enjoys. So that's fine.
yeah, yeah, but it's good because he earns money outside of the business. So then it means that I can live on the wage that the business can afford to pay me, not the wage that I deserve, I guess.
Yeah.
Whereas he allows that to happen by earning a wage in a different business. So yeah, yeah. And then we've been open now we just had our 6th birthday in October, a couple months ago. So we've been open now about six years.
Beautiful. And so all of your rooms, so you mentioned that you have the 3 rooms. So all of those rooms, though, that's been designed personally by your brother and your sister-in-law.
Yeah, yeah. So that's Craig and Kit. Yes, so they've designed and built all of the rooms. So down to my brother did woodwork in high school, so he's made some woodworking things. So this little safe little thing here. This is all a woodwork thing. So he's actually made this,
Oh,
and
wow.
I guess I'll give you a sneak. This is what it does.
That is magic.
So
That is magic. So for those who aren't watching on YouTube, the shelf is just the whole bottom of the shelf has dropped out. So that is magic. I can get what you mean. I would have no idea how to do that either.
yeah, like and it wows people as well when we.
No, that's cool.
So yeah, so they've built that. So he's built the wooden part of it. They've put the electronics in there. There's a mag lock in there, like everything that they have done just for that one single puzzle. And then what you didn't see is I did something on the other side of the wall, and to earn that reward.
And then that's a
Yeah,
part of the puzzle that you would then take from whatever is there to then continue on your journey in the
yeah.
escape.
So then you need to figure out what you got to do with the thing that you found in that compartment there. So sometimes it might be a padlock that's locking something, and then you need to figure out the code on the padlock, and then you get the next piece of information. Or like that, it's the magic part where you do something, and then when you earn it, that pops open automatically.
Beautiful. So you mentioned that you've been in business for 6 years now. What would you say has been your biggest challenge?
Well, our biggest recent challenge, I was thinking about this for a while because there's so many challenges in business. But the recent one is that we got flooded. So back in just March this year, I get a phone call. Shelley, do you know what's going on? Are you okay? And I'm like, no, I don't know what's going on. So no, I'm not okay now.
Yeah.
And then he goes, are you sitting down? I'm like, I hate those things when people start a conversation on the phone like that. So, and I'm like, yes, I am. And he said, there's been a flood and the flood's all in your suite. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm about to go to the gym. I've got my gym clothes on. And I don't know how big it is or whatever. And then I ring my brother because, they fix things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I ring and I go, I'm told there's a flood. Can you go down and see what it's like? And he's like, okay. So I still go to my PT session. I get to the door of my PT session. I just do the gym, and I give a quick call. And I said, how's it going? He goes, you're going to need to get here now. We're going to have to make some decisions. And I'm like, uh-oh. So we get here, and the whole place, so we're about 125 square meters, and the whole place was flooded from corner to corner.
Oh, wow.
And some places up to 2 centimeters high. So everything that was touching the floor got wet. Some places were like the 2 centimeters high was the highest. So some places were just wet to walk on, but others were 2 centimeters high. So you could sort of, wade in it a bit with your feet. And obviously that was very confronting. And it was just before Easter. And Easter would flow onto school holidays. And for us, that's our peak period. So when people aren't working, that's when they're going to do something fun. So, people come during Easter, people come during, school kids and families come during school holidays. And we were like we haven't handled anything like this before. So what do we do? Is that it? Like, do we have to move? Do we have to close down? Like, how is this going to affect the business? I luckily, and I think sometimes timing things happen for a reason. Not that the flood happened for a reason, but I had just 2 weeks before I had renewed our insurance policy, and I had gone with a new insurance broker. I'd gone with a new insurance broker because now she was more expensive than the previous one, but having a look at our previous insurances, it didn't cover a lot. So in her words, wasn't worth the paper it was written on. So then we went with her, and then she explained everything, and then we had more insurance coverage. And then, would you believe it, 2 weeks later, we're flooded. So I rang her, and she was absolutely excellent. And so she contacted the insurance company, and then we had someone out the very next day to help us mop up. Obviously, we were trying to mop up ourselves, but they had basically, the company came out, packed everything up, and then put it in a room that was less wet, like on top of tables and stuff like that. So everything was up. So everything that touched the floor had to be moved. They also pulled out all the floorboards, because we had floorboards on top of the carpet, and my concern was that the carpet's not going to dry at all if the floorboards weren't replaced. So they ripped all of those out. And so that was that. Yeah, they came for like a day and a half, something. So then come. So in the end, it only happened to be, I think, 3.5 weeks that we were closed for. But we were working really hard in that time in order to be open in that time. So in our reception area, the walls had to be cut. So because the water got in the wall, so the walls, one side of the wall need to be cut in order to allow it to dry. And we learned a lot about insurance as well, like what the insurance covers and what it doesn't cover. So in this case, we were dealing with 2 insurance companies. So our landlord's insurance covers the building, and so the walls, the floors, the carpet and stuff, and ours is all our stuff. But what we didn't have was business continuity insurance. So there was no reimbursement of wages during that time, or any other sort of costs that aren't covered under those 2 policies. So I guess we've learned that. But being only 3.5 weeks, and our wages are just us. So our staff are casual, so we didn't have those wages. But on the flip side, they also didn't get any income for those 3.5 weeks, which is upsetting for me as well to do for them. But yeah, I think that's the hardest thing. But I guess we just kept fighting, kept pushing forward, kept annoying the insurance company until we got all of that resolved.
So the flood, was it like a weather thing, or was it like a freak accident?
Yeah. So what's happened, so we're on the first floor, so you don't expect to be flooded because there's stairs to get up to it.
Yeah.
And how much water do you have to be flooded on the first floor? So across the hall from us is a kitchen, and in the kitchen the hot water system burst. Of course, I was here till like 10 o'clock the night before, and the next person was in at 6 o'clock in the morning. So of course it burst in between those 2 times, and had been because the hot water, I didn't know this, so I'll just let you know, you might know, but the hot water, because it just keeps filling up, and because the water's coming out, it just thinks that it needs to keep filling up.
Yeah, okay.
So the water just keeps spurting out of it for hours. So then it's all filled our suite, and then next to us is some stairs. So there's been a waterfall going down the stairs. So until the first person arrived in the morning around about the 6 o'clock time, nobody knew that this was happening until that time. So then they had to figure out how to turn the water off and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so totally unexpected, and definitely not a risk in our plan or anything.
Wow. So if we flip it, so that was your biggest challenge so far in business, what would be your biggest achievement?
There's been a lot of achievements along the way. Obviously, we won a few awards. We won the Alibi Award. We've won a local business award back in 2021. There is an award for what we call the Topekers. So it's the Top Escape Rooms Enthusiast Choice Awards. So basically, it's voted on by enthusiasts. And what they call an escape room enthusiast is someone who's done 200 or more escape rooms.
How do you
And they
prove
have to,
you've done 200 or more escape rooms? Wow.
well, I just supply, I don't have 200 more. I've got 100, over 100.
Yeah.
But I just applied a spreadsheet of the escape rooms that I have played.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. There we go.
So yeah, you got to provide some sort of evidence, and for me that was my evidence because I keep track of what escape rooms that I've played. So someone over 200 escape rooms needs to nominate your escape room as their top. I think it's eight to 10. So and then you had to have a number of people that nominated your escape room as their top 8 to 10. So that year we got I think 3 or 4 nominations, which was enough to get us into finalist stage. And this isn't like a worldwide competition. So it's not just escape rooms in Australia, it's the whole world. So in that we got 227th in the world, the rankings, which was 8th in Australia. So that was pretty good to be recognised amongst enthusiasts. And it was this escape room that I'm in now, it was the Inheritance, was nominated as one of the best escape rooms. So that was a pretty exciting win amongst our industry. But I guess yeah, lots of other achievements. Just the business employing us all is also like a great achievement. So the 3 of us, my brother, sister-in-law, and myself, are now all employed by the business. So that was also like our kit just came on last year. So it's good to have all 3 of us now working full-time in the business.
Oh, beautiful. No, that sounds like a great achievement. And I didn't, yeah. You've done over 100 escape rooms, Shelley? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I'm about 115 or something now. And I
Wow.
still can't wait to go to my next one. I already know where it's going to be. I just haven't booked it yet.
Oh, awesome. So then once you hit over 200, you can then vote, I guess, in this
Yeah, so
award.
we can nominate. Yeah, so I
Oh.
can actually nominate an escape rooms. Obviously, you can't nominate your own. Uh, you've got to register your conflict of interest, but I can actually nominate other escape rooms, which I think is hard because, like, how do you pick your favorites sometimes?
Mm, no, that's true. Wow.
But I'm
That's
still a fair bit off 200. Like I'm about 115, so I'm a couple of years away, I think, from 200. But yeah, sometimes we went to Brisbane last year and played over 4 days. I think we played like 12 or 13 escape rooms.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, so that's how we kind of got the numbers up. The whole trip was about playing escape rooms.
But yeah, it's good because then if you go on to have more rooms, I guess, and create more, then you've got all these ideas from different rooms that you can look at how you can do better or what you liked about that and then keep going.
Yeah, I guess more they're trying to come up with something different. And if
Mm.
it's something that we've seen in an escape room before, how can we do it differently? How can we make it bigger and better than what we've seen before?
So I know that you mentioned that your brother asked you to come on to be like the face of the business and with all your business expertise, but is there any advice you wish someone had given you when you started?
I feel like I'm lucky. I actually got some good advice when I started. Um, we linked into the Business Connect program pretty quickly. Um, and we had someone from Western Sydney Business Centre come out, and because we were like not sure about the whole thing, and she was amazing. Like she just really, she talked us into it. Basically, she's like, "Oh, this is great. I can't wait to play it. And she's like, she'd done some research about escape rooms and stuff. So, she sort of pushed us over with her enthusiasm as well. And then she put us onto a accountant and put us onto like a people that we needed. And then we went to ANZ because they had like a business program. And when we met with them, they said, you're going to need to have an account for like a separate account, like a operating account, and then you're going to need to have a separate account for your GST and super and stuff like that. And so I just did it. So like a lot of people I see in groups now are like, oh, I've got this big GST bill or I've got this big bill. How am I going to pay that? And I've never had to worry about that because I got given that advice up front. So I guess that's what, if you're starting a business, I think that's a good thing to do, is to have a separate account. So when I do the payroll, I just transfer the super into this separate account. So when the super is due, I just pay it from that account. And it's not like the money's already there, I'm not losing it. Or I put my GST into that account, it's already accounted for in there. Yeah, we had a good real estate agent who helped us with this place and told us that we were going to need to have a DA to be able to operate from here. And I wouldn't have known that if he didn't tell me to. And then we had to go through that whole process of getting a DA. So I think, I guess, seek out and find answers to questions that you don't even know that you have.
Yeah. So I guess experts in what they do, like the real
Yeah,
estate knew, the bank knew, and also make sure you've got separate accounts and put money aside, because
yeah,
no one wants the tax man chasing them.
that's
Really.
right. Yeah,
No one wants that.
yeah.
So what, if you're willing to share, what's the ultimate goal for narrow escape rooms? Like, do you guys have a plan? Are you expanding? Do you want like a franchise? Like, what's your ultimate goal?
So we are expanding now. We've got a new space and we are currently building a new escape room. That new space fits 2 escape rooms and it's in the same building that we're at.
Oh, cool.
This is like a mini goal though. This is not our dream.
Yeah.
Our dream is to have a nice big space where we've got maybe 8, like the dream is 8 escape rooms that we'd have in there, and we'd possibly even have some other activity as well, or activities. And so basically you can come and play any of those escape rooms. They'd be nice and big. They'd be so much fun. That's our dream goal. Not something that we can afford right now with the economy and the effects of the flood and all that sort of stuff. So at the moment, we've just gone this little step. But yeah, our big goal, our big dream is still to have a nice big space with lots of escape rooms and lots of staff, and that we have a bit more of a work-life balance for us.
But that's still, so you're working on 2 escape rooms now and you already have 3. So that's taking you up to 5 anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's incredible. Do you have
Yeah.
an ETA on when those escape rooms will be ready, or?
I've been pushing my brother and sister-in-law for that, and they won't commit. They just keep saying it's not going to happen this year.
I was going to say, are they better employees? No.
I would say within the first 6 months of next year.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've just had our occupation certificate approved. So now we can start moving in and putting everything into the room. And we've had an artist. It's an Aztec themed room. The first one is. So we've had an artist create a lot of the stuff that's going to go, like the artistic stuff, and then my brother and sister-in-law are creating the magic that goes behind the artist work. So the things that he's built are beautiful, and this room's going to be absolutely stunning.
Beautiful. It sounds exciting. Well, let me know so then I can come and we'll bring people along.
That's all right. We'll be telling everyone, don't worry.
So is there any advice that you would give? So I've heard the advice that that you had when you started, but is there any advice that you would give to any of the ladies wanting to get into business, or?
Well, I guess with an escape room business, everything is way more expensive than what you think it is. So in an escape room business, I would times it by 2.5. So whatever your budget is, times it by 2.5, because things are just so much more expensive that you don't know what to do. And I guess the other thing is just to keep moving forward, just keep taking steps. You think that you don't know how to do something, and then you just start doing it, and then you look back and you go, wow, I didn't know how to do that 2 years ago, and now I'm just doing it like it's nothing. So it might be struggle at first, but you'll get there if you keep moving towards it.
Beautiful. Okay, so you've done 115 escape rooms. You have your own escape room business. Is there a tip that you would share for the listeners if they're going to go and do an escape room? I don't want all your master expert stuff, but maybe like a little tip on what they should do when they go into an escape room, especially if they want to try it for the first time.
Yeah. Um, so my top two tips is, because I can't decide between them. The first one is to you need to search the room thoroughly. So you can't solve a puzzle unless you've got all of the pieces. So have a look around. Is there a drawer to open? Is there, is there something sitting on the side somewhere? Like, have a good look around. And the other one is teamwork and communication. So when you do find something, tell everybody you found it. If you've got an idea, say it out loud. Sometimes we see people have an idea and they'll point to something and they'll go, maybe we do this. And that's totally wrong, but they're pointing to something that is right. So then somebody will look at that and go, hang on a minute, this has got a clue on it. So even though, or other times they will be right, but they're just not sure of themselves. But when you say it out loud and the others go, yeah, that makes sense. Let's try that. So throw the ideas around, and teamwork and communication, definitely. Beautiful. And just have fun with it, I think.
Yeah. It's not
Don't worry about the clock. Just have fun with it.
And you do let them out, and I can see behind you there's a green button. So I'm guessing that's if they need to leave, they can leave.
Yeah, that's kind of illegal to lock people in a room. So there's the emergency exit buttons, and our new rooms don't have any locks, so you can leave the room at any stage. And we'll probably go to that here at some stage as well. So you can get out anytime in an escape room. So
where do we stalk you, or where are you located so we can come and give your escape room a try?
We are everywhere. So we have our website is narrowesc.com.au. We are on TikTok. I've got one of my younger people running our TikTok account, because apparently I'm an old boomer in that case. And we're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube.
Everywhere. So Narrow Escape Rooms. And where in Penrith are you located? What's your address?
So we're Suite 4 to Castlereagh Street, Penrith. If you're aware of Penrith, we're not far from the Penrith RSL Club, and we're right above Mrs. C's Cupcakes.
Beautiful. So I would strongly advise everyone to just go and give it a go. Take some girlfriends or take your partner. I guess you can leave him locked up in the room and you can leave. But go and give it a go, because if it's something you haven't tried, I know I hadn't, and I really enjoyed it. And it was just a bunch of us businesswomen getting together. We went and we did the escape room. We had dinner after. It was just a beautiful night to connect with others and get to know people better.
Yeah. And if you're watching in other states, there's escape rooms all around the country.
Yes, but you have to travel to Penrith first.
Yeah. When you're coming to the next award ceremony, if it's in Penrith, make sure you have time to come and see us here.
Yes, beautiful. Next awards night. Book in that time to check out the escape room. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Shelley, and sharing your journey and your big flood challenge and what an escape room is all about.
Okay, thank you.